This is a Belle Lumina headlight taillight set that I picked up at Walmart for $24.95, and the reason I bought it is this has the highest lumen headlight, bicycle headlight that I've seen on a department store shelf, so I decided to pick it up and take a closer look at it. It doesn't require any tools for mounting, and that's because it uses silicone straps for both the taillight and headlight, which are nice features. And the test used to get the specs used the FL1 standard, so the specs should be accurate. The headlight has three modes, high, low, and strobe. The lumens for high mode is 150, 70 for low mode, and they don't give a lumens for the strobe mode. It's got a beam distance of 178 feet. It's got a runtime of 16 hours in high mode, 22 hours in low mode, and 65 hours in strobe mode. Does not give a beam angle for the headlight. Taillight is 10 lumens brightness, and I guess that's 10 for all modes. Has a 10-foot beam length, doesn't give a beam angle. Kind of odd that they say 45 hours for both high and low mode. You would think that the low mode would have more of a longer runtime. But anyway, that's what it says here. And we'll take a closer look at it and see. Strobe mode's 120-hour runtime. Let's see on the back here, the headlight uses 3 AA batteries and the tail light uses 2 AA batteries. And let's get a shot of the bottom of the packaging. Interesting thing about this headlight set is that this set is also available with the headlight using built-in lithium batteries that are USB chargeable. The difference between that set and this set is this set uses all AA batteries, and that other set uses lithium batteries for the headlight but AA batteries for the taillight, which is kind of odd. You would think they would want to use lithium in both the taillight and headlight, but anyway, I couldn't find that set at the department store. I could only find the set that uses all AA batteries, but I will put a link in the description for both sets, and you can view them online and read the reviews that they have on Amazon, which is always kind of interesting. But let's get this open and take a closer look at it. Alright, so this is everything you get with the set. You got your tail light, you got the silicone strap for the tail light, and your headlight. And the silicone strap for the headlight is kind of permanently mounted. You can remove it, but I don't know why you'd want to. So let's take a closer look at everything. This is your tail light. And on the back here you have this belt clip, and it's also a clip for the silicone strap. And at the top here you have your power and mode button. And at the bottom here you have this groove here that you insert a coin, and you can pry off this top piece and get to the battery compartment. And here is the silicone strap for the tail light. And if you watched my last video on the Belle Lumina 100 tail light, the shim here, and when I say shim, I'm talking about the part of this strap that rests against your seat post. It was a separate piece, and you always had the risk of losing that shim. But with this light, it's built into the silicone strap. It's part of the strap, so no chance of losing it, so that's a nice feature. And then the way that this goes on is this part here just slides into the belt clip and clicks into place, and then to remove it you just lift up and pull it off. And there's a closer look at the headlight, and you got your power mode button and the silicone strap. There is a button here that you press down to release this lens cover, and you can install or remove the batteries. And we will take a closer look at that next. Now, to get to the batteries on the tail light, you just take a coin. I don't have a coin, so I'm just using a key. And you stick it into this groove and just pry off the top. And that will expose the battery compartment. Oh, the gasket is kind of... that's weird. Oh, okay. Alright, so you take your lens cover, you see the battery compartment in the back, install your AA batteries, And then make sure the gasket is installed correctly on this lens cover. And this part of the cover is where the rubber power button goes, so make sure that's lined up correctly. And then you just press it together, and there's your steady mode. It's got good side visibility. And you got your flashing mode, and then back to off. So there is no high-low, it's just one steady mode. So that's a kind of a goof on the packaging. You can see here it says steady high-low 45 hours. The reason why there's only one runtime for both high and low is because there's only one mode. It's just on, or it's either steady or flashing. So they shouldn't have printed high-low. They just should have printed steady. So that's your tail light. Now to get to the battery compartment on the headlight, there's these two ribs. There's one rib here and one rib here, and that's so you can hold on to this whole lens cover and pull out while you're pressing down right here, and that will release. Release, and then you just pull out, and you can pull this part out and install your batteries. So this takes 3 AA. And I'm using rechargeable AA batteries, the Duracell that I showed you in the last video. I'll put a link to the batteries and the charger I bought in the description below. And when you go to reinstall this, make sure that it is lined up correctly. Kind of wiggle it back and forth, and it should smoothly go in like that. If it doesn't, then pull it out and realign it, and then you just press it until it clicks and it's installed. And then let's look at the modes. I think that's the low mode, and then you got a high mode, and then your flash mode. Kind of impressed with how bright the flash mode is. And then you got your off. Thought I would compare the Belle Lumina to the Belle Arella 100. This is the light that I did the last video on. The Belle Lumina has a 10 lumens brightness and a beam length of 10 feet, and the Belle Arella 100 has a 4 lumens brightness and a beam length of 6 feet. Looking at both lights when they're on, this is slightly brighter, but there's not a big difference. They both have the same modes, flashing and steady, only the flash on the Lumina, it flashes a couple times, then it pauses for a second, and then we'll go through that cycle again. This one is just a steady flash. So here are the lights in steady mode. There's the side visibility. There's the flash mode. And then the off. The power switch, mode switch, is easier to use on the Lumina than it is on the Arella 100. Let's turn them back on to steady mode and see if you can get a sense of their brightness, but not really. Probably looks about the same. But looking directly at them, this one is just slightly brighter. Thought I would compare the Belle Lumina headlight to the Bontrager Ion 700 headlight. In high mode, this produces 700 lumens, so it's going to be a big difference, but this has several different modes that we can compare the light to. But first let me turn this on and go through the modes. That is the low mode and high mode, and then you've got your your strobe mode. But let me turn off the lights and try shining this against the wall and see if we can get a comparison. Alright, so here is the Belle Lumina light in low mode. And then you have high mode. And you have strobe. I'm really impressed with the strobe on the Belle Lumina. I wasn't expecting it to be this bright. And then this is the Bontrager Ion 700 in high mode. And then your medium mode. And then low mode. And then it has a couple of strobe modes. And then high mode again. And let me put the Bontrager in low mode. And I think the low mode is close to the high mode for the Belle Lumina. Belle Lumina is on my left here, and this is the Bontrager. And then the flash mode I'm real impressed with the Belle Lumina flash mode. Not real impressed with the high or low mode, but the flash mode definitely, I like it. I like the flash mode. Alright, so let me show you how to mount the tail light. Remember I said that this tail light has this built-in shim, and all that does is it positions the light so that it's straight up and down on the back of your bicycle. So you want to make sure that you position the shim or the strap correctly, and the correct position would be right here. If you positioned it like this, you would have the this mount pointing downward, which you don't want. So you would put it on like this. But before I put it on, I want to mount the tail light to the strap, because I think that the clamp for my repair stand is going to be in the way. So you slide this on and then just strap it on, and that's it. Now let's mount the headlight. So I'm going to mount the headlight right here, and you simply take the strap, run it around your bar or wherever you're mounting it, and lock it down, and that's pretty much it. I got a chance to use these lights last night, and I was really impressed with this headlight. It's the best department store headlight I've ever used. The strobe mode on this light is actually brighter than both flash modes on the Bontrager Ion 700, and I paid $110 for this, so that was really surprising. I didn't expect that. There was a couple of things earlier in the video that I didn't notice that I want to mention right now. This gasket, when you pull this out of the main body of the light, this gasket tends to pull off, so you want to make sure that that's seated properly when you reinsert this, so that water doesn't leak into the light. And also, this light has really good side visibility, which you can see here, and that was something else that impressed me about the light. It actually has better side visibility than the Bontrager Ion 700, which you can see there. So that was a surprising feature. But when you're riding, when this is attached to your handlebar and you're riding, the light here tend to annoy some people in some reviews that I read, so that's something to keep in mind. It didn't bother me, but I can see where it might be annoying for some people. And if I had to complain about this light, it would be the size. It's just a big bulky light, but I mean, it works really well, I think, for a department store bike, so, or department store light for a bicycle. Yeah, if you got any questions, I'm trying to think if I forgot to mention anything. I did notice the gasket issue too with the taillight. when I pull this apart, it just tends to come off. You want to make sure that that's seated and on there properly before you, what is that, a leaf? On there properly before you reassemble everything. But I think that's it. If you got any questions, just put them in the comment section and I'll do my best to answer them. And I hope that if you're considering a bicycle light, that this video helps you out. And thanks for watching.